Hello. Well, I think it's time that we all get rich. Uh, Before long, we're just going to have the money pouring into our pockets. Tons of money. All of it's going to come to us from Facebook because there is a computer or consumer uh, profile litigation, and it's the United States Supreme Court for the Northern District of California. And if you've used Facebook or if Facebook has used you, you need to submit a claim. And I just did that, by the way, and it wasn't hard. Uh, so let's see what we have here. So I'll put the link to this, and here are the important dates and some information. The deadline is August 25th. What month is this? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yep, there's 4 more days to go. This is the first I heard about it. I filled out the claim and everything. I got the thing. You can opt out of the settlement. I don't know why anybody would bother to opt out of it. So anyway, this is there's no reason for me to go through this with you. But I will put the link below. Now I'm an old man. I'm 82, so I've seen a bunch of these things. Never have I ever heard of anybody. I'm talking about my personal experience. I'm 82. There were several banks that I know of. Oh, I think there are 3 agencies that store information on people, and that's where you get your credit rating. Maybe there's 4. I've heard of 3, and they were supposed to keep the information, as use them as one example. Okay, there's more, but they were not to disclose this information. Now they could disclose it. Of course, that's their business. They could disclose it to businesses that signed certain agreements and were legit, and then the businesses would use that credit rating to decide whether you can buy a house or buy a car or all that kind of stuff. But what they did was, and I forget the names of the credit people. Oh, anyway, Equifax is one of them. I don't know why I think of that one. But all 3 of them, they were just, hey, give us money and we'll give you all the information on James J. Howard. Everything, where he lived, car he drove, all this information. They would give it to these companies, and that was against the law. And so they were sued, and a class action suit type thing. And I was contacted, and I filled out now there's a bunch of times that I was sent things to, and I didn't bother to do it, but I don't like those credit union people. And when I found out that they were doing that, and they were so like high and mighty or whatever, I liked them less. So I filled out the paperwork. And then it came out, and I forget, it was more money than, unless you're, I don't know, unless you're rich. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's the amount of money they lost. They had to pay. They had to make that available. And so finally there was an announcement sent out. Okay, an agreement has been reached, with the courts and the whole thing. And the law firms, I mean, I don't know what they did with the money. Law firms had, they had to buy probably new buildings, whatever, to store the money that they got coming in for the lawyers that did the cases, the law firms and the lawyers. Their pockets were, what am I going to do with all this fucking money? It's too goddamn much money. And then people like me, and like all the rest of you, okay, these billions of dollars, just went to the law firms, and because we had to have the law firms, and this is what's left for you. So you can get, and I forget what it was, but I'll give you an approximate. It was maybe $20 or $15 or something. Okay, well, you can get $15. Not $15 a day, not $15 a month, not $15 for the rest of your life. You can get $15. Maybe it was 20. And the other thing is, you can get access to your credit information and for free. You can get access for free, and that was it. I think that was it. And you'd be able to see your data and that type of stuff. And it was something that they had charged customers, not businesses, but people like me. And I don't know what you paid, $100 a month or $100 a year or $150 a year or something like that. I forget what it was. But anyway, they said, okay, well, you have a choice. You can have $15 once, or you can get this site that you can log into, and you can see your data, and there'll be some other information there to kind of help you, And I took that. And then, of course, after a month or two, which naturally they should, the company just said, oh, by the way, at the end of this year, this won't expire, and you'll have access to it, because they had advertising on there, for credit cards that you could, all these credit cards, because these people want you to get a credit card, and all that. And it's just, they were making money off of that. Okay, so that was the credit unions. A bank. Now the bank, let's see. The bank, what did they do? The bank had a policy. It was not one bank, or two banks. This is a gigantic chain of banks. What they did was, okay, they had a policy. Okay, if a deposit is made into the bank, at the end of the day, we will credit it to your bank account. So that's a deposit. But if a check or a removal, of money, that will be processed right away. As soon as it comes in, they process it. And you see where this is going? Money coming into the bank, or the money comes into the bank. Oh, no. We'll do that tonight, after the bank closes. But if a check shows up or some type of withdrawal, take that out right away, because people would not have sufficient money in the bank, and the bank would charge you charges, whatever that would be. And that's another one of the schemes. And they had to pay in fines tons and tons and tons of money. But it all went to the lawyers and the corporate law firms or whatever. And I'm not sure if I actually qualified for that or not. I think that might have been if you were, I don't think I got anything for that, because that was if you had had a situation where you made a deposit and they did it after the bank closed, and you had somebody come into your account to take money out, and they charged you um, a fee, for an overdraft, or you didn't have the money in your bank, or whatever that was. I don't think I think I applied for that and didn't, wasn't one of the people who deserved it. But it was the same thing, because the information they sent told how much, all this money, and where all this money went to the law firms, and the little people, almost nothing. And that's the way as far as I know, that it always has worked. Now, maybe if some of you are lawyers or something like that, maybe you can come up with some way where somebody actually, let's see, wait a minute, why didn't it go down? Page down. Oh, maybe that is the 8. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm going to give you the link to it, so you don't have to, read this. But okay. So that's it. So you are going to be rich. You're going to fill this out if you've used Facebook, because then if you used Facebook, they didn't get your permission to take all of your information and sell it, and that's what they did. And so they owe you tons of money, which I'm sure the law firms won't take massive amounts of it. I mean, they don't need it, and I'm sure you're going to be rich now. You probably all will be you'll have so much money, you'll probably send me a gigantic Christmas gift of some kind. I'm sure that's going to happen. You could probably hold your breath on making sure that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, thank you very much for watching. Please give a thumbs up and fill it out. You only got a few days to do it. I'm surprised I didn't hear about this. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at the wrong stuff. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.